What's up, everybody? It's Kobe from Amore IT Solutions. Thought that I would just make a quick video explaining our home theater system that we installed in our house. I did post some stuff on social media, had some people reach out to me asking me various questions on like cost, what it took to be able to install the equipment inside the house, what tools I had to use. So I thought at least that I would show you. I have some pictures of the process, and I'll walk you through some of the stuff, and then we'll upload this to social media, Facebook and YouTube, and then if anybody else has any other questions, they can just reach out to me. But basically, this first picture here, I was on Facebook and I was inquiring about home theater speakers, like clip speakers, and had someone reach out to me and was giving me some advice on different speakers and whatnot. So I went ahead and once I figured out everything that I wanted, I went ahead to this particular company and ordered all of the equipment. It was very fast, very smooth. I was very shocked and just how quickly, from the time that I ordered the stuff, from the time that I arrived, I think it took like 2 days. So, in this first picture here, you can see that they had it delivered from a semi and a pallet. They basically will just do like curbside drop off. So we have a really long driveway, and they just dropped it off right at the top of our driveway. Um, and this is just, the boxes, whatnot. Once I tore the wrapping off of it, picture of me excited to have the equipment there, and excited about figuring out how I was going to get it down to the house. Stuff's real heavy. Basically used the car, just threw it in the back of the car. Had to make like 3 or 4 trips to get all of the equipment, but here it is inside the house, stacked up. Just to go through some of the boxes here. At these tall speakers on the left-hand side are the front, left, and right speakers, and all of the speakers that I got are Klipsch reference Premier speakers, and I know I'll throw the model numbers out there, but I'll probably get them wrong. The tower speakers are the RP8000Fs. The center speakers RP504C, and I'm going off of what I can see on the picture here. The surround speakers are the RP502Ss, and then we had some height speakers for the front height and rear height speakers, and those were RP500SAs. The sub that you can't really see, I don't know if it was really pictured in here. It might have been on the other, just outside of this picture, but the sub was a SVS PB 2000 Pro. I got one of them. They recommended that I got 2, but I haven't had anything. I haven't basically had any SVS products, so I wanted to kind of get the sub and like use it for a while before I decided if I was going to get a second one. All right, and we also got some Emotiva amps to power the speakers. Initially, like to kind of back up, the Denon receiver that I have, which is the AVR X4700H, I believe it is, and it will do 11 channel speakers, but it will only do 9 channels powered through the amplifier inside the receiver. The other 2 speakers you have to use a separate amp. So what I was going to do is the most important speakers to power up, or to give, I guess, external power, would be your left and right front speakers and then your center speaker. Initially, I was just going to do those three, but then I decided to end up doing all 11. So this BassX A4 from Emotiva, that was going to power the two front and the two rear speakers. The Emotiva XPA Gen 3, this is a 9-channel amplifier, and then that was going to, or is powering, the front left and right speaker, the center speaker, my two surround speakers that are to the left and right sides of where we sit, and then there was also two back speakers that it was going to power. It's just some of the packaging of one of the Emotivas. They do a really good job of not only the packaging but the boxing. It's double boxed with their amplifiers, and yeah, it's very well protected. It's pretty impressed by the packaging alone. A lot of times you get this stuff delivered to you and the boxes are all banged up and tore up, and sometimes you open the stuff up and the equipment's damaged, but real good packaging with these guys. One of the cool things that they have is they have this amplifier birth certificate that they put inside, I guess, each one of their amplifiers. And basically, it just says your amplifier is unique. It was built by hand by real people in our manufacturing facility in Franklin, Tennessee. A dedicated team brought your amplifier to life. Below are the Emotiva team members that created your amplifier. Their signatures below indicate the pride they take in their work. So I thought that was pretty cool. Just a little attention to detail. A lot of times you just don't see that now with products, and I thought that was pretty cool. It's just some more packaging from one of the amplifiers. Here's the 7-channel amplifier out of the box. This thing was absolutely massive and heavy. I want to say this thing was, I can't even remember. It's over 35 pounds. It was between 35 and 50. I can't remember. I just know it was heavy. Here's the back of it. It's where the speaker wires get connected, and then I was using RCAs. So you get basically connect your RCA cables here, and they connect to the back of your of my Denon receiver, and then the actual speakers to all of the or the cables to all of the speakers get placed here in the back of the amp. It's just me taking the, whatever you want to call it, the decals and stuff off of the receiver. One of the things that we kind of had to overcome is that the way that our living room is that, we have a wall on the right hand side for where you sit, but on the left hand side it's open to the kitchen. So to put surround speakers on the left and right side of you, we had to come up with some type of stand on the left side where the kitchen was going to be. So you want to have your surround speakers above ear level. I think they say about like a foot to, or a foot and a half, maybe 2 feet, somewhere around in there, for the listening area. So we basically went to Home Depot, got a bunch of wood, measured some stuff out as far as what we were going to need the legs to be, as far as how tall it was going to be, platform on the top where the speaker was going to sit, and then the base board, which isn't shown in this picture. But here is my wife, Michelle. Basically, we've got it all put together, and now we're just painting it black. You see her spray painting there. Put plastic down on the floor. One of the things I will say is, if you could do this, to do it outside. When we did it, it's winter time, so couldn't really go outside and do it. But man, the paint spray dust kind of got all over the place, and it was kind of a mess. It took a while for us to wipe everything down after we got these spray painted. Here's it laying down Here it is finished. We set it in one of the rooms and opened up the window. The smell of paint was very strong, so we opened up a window, closed the door, and left it sitting there. Probably it was overnight, so it was probably like 8 to 10 hours. And don't mind the mess here. This is all of my tools and stuff that we were using to put all this stuff together. But here's the stand, that left speaker stand, and the speaker on top here. And then here's the right side. So we have, like, again, a wall on the right side. So I was able to hang it. Basically, what I did is I measured from the floor up, and I measured the same height for the right speaker on the wall that we mounted. Um, we measured the same height for the actual stand. So it came out really good. Um, yeah, just a lot of hard work and it's really attention to detail. You just don't want to forget things, and of course, you're building like that stand, and if you made it like an inch or a couple inches short or too tall, then it would be a pain to have to redo the whole thing. So one of the issues or other issues that we ran across here was that in our house we have very thin walls, and what you're seeing here is the back wall in the living room, and then uh, you're seeing the inside of our bedroom here. Basically, what it was is the speaker would not fit um, when you placed it in here. It was too deep of a speaker. So there's a couple of different ways that we could have went about this. We could have went and tried putting some foam or something on the outside here to get it to seat further back, or further out, so that the speaker wouldn't hit the back of this wall. But I didn't want to do that because it would look weird when we put the final speaker plates on. So we decided to cut the back side of the wall here. And what we did was, this is like inside the bedroom now on the other side of the wall. But what me and my wife decided to do is to go back to Home Depot, get some wood, measure out the size of boxes that we were going to make as kind of baffles for the back of these rear speakers. You can see her measuring the stuff out. Here where I went and cut all the pieces out in our shed, brought them back in, used wood glue and screws, and this is her putting the boxes together. This is the back side of it. You can see the wood glue here. We used brackets to keep it together with screws holding it in place. Put brackets on the left and right side, and I put them on the top and bottom, and that was going to get screwed into the wall to hold it into place. We decided to put insulation inside of here, mainly for sound dampening. Again, these boxes are going on the back side of our wall in our bedroom, and it's not out to where you could really see them, because we have like a recessed space where we have like closet area, so you can't really see it. But basically, we wanted to make sure that when we're watching a movie or whatnot, that the vibrations or the sounds from the speaker weren't bleeding back into the bedroom. So here is it mounted to the wall. We're basically going to, here's all my stuff that I just piled up to get out of the way so that we could get in here and mount these things. But basically, these are going to get painted. Not sure what color we're going to paint them, but my wife wanted to do that, so that'll be done later on. But it worked out really well. screwed them into the wall, and I mean, you're pretty much done from that aspect until you actually mount the speakers. So basically, this is us putting the insulation, getting it prepared uh, to put inside the wall. So we're putting more insulation not only in those baffle boxes, but we did put the insulation in the walls just because the bass and just the sound of from the speakers. We have, again, really thin walls that we wanted to reduce some of the vibration um, that we were going to get reverberating through the house from the walls. So this is my wife here getting ready to put the first piece down in the wall here. Basically what we did is we just crammed it down. We wanted to fill the bottom section as much as possible. We filled also the sides, and then we actually filled up above where the speaker was going to be as well. So this whole cavity here was getting filled with insulation. Of course, we were wearing masks because, man, I tell you what, like, you start working with insulation. I mean, when I was younger, it didn't affect me as much, but now that I'm older, just being around that stuff was just really making me cough and it's affecting my lungs. And you should be wearing masks probably anyways when you're doing this stuff. So here's a picture of the insulation. This is that baffle box here with the insulation, and then you can see all the insulation around that we put in the wall. Here's me putting insulation in, working on the right rear speaker cavity. And here is the right rear speaker. This bracket here goes in, and that's it basically is helping hold the rear speaker in place. There's a picture of the left rear. Here's that little close-up of that bracket. And this is the speaker cable that you're seeing here. So in this picture, it's just showing both the left and right rear spots where the speakers are going to go in. It's kind of going back a little bit, but there's the hole there with the bracket. I was just fitting it in place to make sure it was going to fit. And here's where we're running a speaker cable. Obviously at the bottom here, you can see this is for the rear right speaker, and then the rear height speaker here. And here's a shot pretty much for where the TV is, showing the back wall. You can actually see the boxes here of the rear speakers that we're going to put in. This is before putting the brackets in. You can see the cables have been run, and then you can see also that now I've mounted the left and right rear height speakers. I know that they look offset, but it's because we have a vaulted ceiling. So it looks like one speaker, the speaker over here to the right is actually lower than the one on the left, but we measured it from the floor up, and it's level. They're both at the same height. Here is the obviously the front wall. Same thing. Cables here for the left and right front height speakers, and then you can see holes down here. These are for the left and right tower speakers. And for anybody wanting to know, this TV, we had the TV hung. We've had it for a year now. It's a Samsung Q90T, I believe is what it is. Really great TV. Had nothing but great things to say about it in the last year that we've had it. And here's just another picture of the right side of where the holes are and the cables coming through. Here's a picture of the front left and right height speakers being mounted. And then here's one of those Emotiva amplifiers. Here's the entertainment center. This is our old center speaker. The one that we have now is much larger than that. And then I got the Xbox Series X. Shout out to my boy Carl from Best Buy. He let me know that they had one that was in stock. It was canceled by a customer, and he knew that I was looking for one and happened to see me in the store and hooked me up. So, real appreciative of that. And so, getting back to it, here is the rear right speaker set in place. Rear left speaker. You can see, the two woofers and then the tweeter in the center here. Then here's what it looks like with the grills in place. Again, these are the rear height speakers. Grill for the rear speaker at the bottom. This is the front speakers next to the TV, left and right. Here's me unboxing the SVS PB 2000 Pro sub woofer. That thing is huge. As you can tell by how big the box is. Here's the center speaker. I think it's the RP, what did I say before? RP 504C, I believe. A lot bigger than the old center speaker that we had. And you got our Denon receiver here, and then my Xbox Series X, and then one of the Emotiva amplifiers at the bottom. Here's those 8000F tower speakers, left and right. Here's that SVS PB 2000 Pro sub unboxed and set in place. It's to the right of the entertainment center and to the right of the front right speaker. Here's another shot of the entertainment center. The second amplifier that I have, I ordered late, so that didn't come for a couple days, and that actually gets set. It's getting it set kind of on top of this Emotiva amplifier here. You'll see it in later pictures. Just a closer up front shot of the Emotiva 7-channel amp, and then I've got a cooler fan, AC Infinity fan, basically sits on top of the Emotiva. Even though they don't get that hot in the summertime, it gets really hot in our house, so I wanted to have this on there. Basically, it's a front exhausting fan, so when it gets to a certain temperature, where I have it I think at 100 degrees right now, basically it'll automatically kick on, and it basically pulls the hot air, has fans on the bottom of it, and it'll pull the hot air from the top of the Emotiva and blow it out. It's just another shot of it. This Amor kind of sign thing here is kind of funny. My wife and my stepson were in town, and they're at some store, and they found this. I mean, it's weird that they were able to find an actual sign like this with the proper spelling of my last name. I just don't see that. Usually you'll see Amore, you'll see it with the E on the end. So I thought it was kind of cool that, they saw it and they decided to buy it. So we decided to put it here in the entertainment center. Here's a picture of the back wall again. Again, the height speakers and then the rear speakers. And here's a picture with the grills put in place. These are just magnetic grills. They just basically set right over the rear speakers. Here's a picture before I got the secondary amplifier put in. It's a close-up of it. here's the final picture. So this has got both amplifiers. You see the 7 channel here and then the 4 channel here. Um, and yeah, that's about it. So basically, um, it took probably the whole project. I mean, I went really slow on it. The whole project probably took, I don't know, week and a half to do. Again, you know, went pretty slow on it. If I was doing this at a customer's place, I mean, I probably have done it in a couple of days with, 1 or 2 people helping me. So, but it's attention to detail. You want to make sure that you're doing everything right. You don't want to rush things because sometimes when you rush things and you're cutting into something that you're not supposed to, or you make a mistake, you can't really go back, or it's very difficult to correct some of the mistakes you made. So, again, just take your time and the end result, you'll be happy with, and you'll be glad that all the hard work was put in, that you did everything to the best of your ability. Um, the equipment, as far as cost, I mean, it's going to be different. Depending on where you're getting the equipment from. If you're getting it straight from the manufacturer, or in my situation, I got it from the person that I ended up being friends with on Facebook. Was telling me about this company. Um, he's friends with the guy, I believe, that owns this company, and basically I got stuff from him, and it was considerably cheaper than it was if I would have went like directly through Klipsch or um, SVS to get these speakers. So kind of, I guess, wouldn't say lucked out on it, but I guess right place, right time when I was kind of talking about on social media. Um, yeah, I mean, I don't know if I do anything different. Definitely, before I had the amplifiers put in place, I had all the speakers. I had 9 speakers connected to my Denon because again, it only will do 9 speakers amplified through the Denon receiver. So I wanted to do that before I hooked up any of the amplifiers just to see what it sounded like. And when I played it, I did that for about a week, and then I put the amplifiers in place. So I had all the amplifiers being powered from the Emotiva amplifiers, and the receiver was not amplifying any. So I could tell you it was a very noticeable difference in sound clarity, quality. Watching movies, you could really um, you could hear the dialogue much better. It was clear, louder. Um, the when you're watching like an Atmos movie, like say like Ready Player One is a really good movie to watch as far as being able to, like the race scene in the movie, being able to hear all the different sounds, crashes, going through all the speakers. So if you haven't watched that movie, I would definitely buy it, or if a friend has it, borrow their DVD and watch it because it's a great movie for Atmos. Um, but yeah, I mean, just once you get the system all dialed in and calibrated, wow, it's just amazing. Especially like I said, once we got these Emotiva amps, um, the clarity is just it's unreal. The power that you get from like the 7 channel, I believe it's 200 watts uh, per all channels driven. So basically, the 7 speakers that are connected to it are all individually getting 200 watts each. The 4 channel Emotiva, I believe, is 100 watts per channel, all channels driven. And those again were being powered the front, rear, and front, the front height and the rear height speakers. So 4 speakers. So those were getting 100 watts, but those they don't need as much power as the other speakers, especially the front stage speakers, the center, left, and right speakers. Um, but the other thing too is music. Listening to music. A a lot of times people will have kind of a home theater system, like a 5.1 system or a 7.1 system, and they'll listen to music, but if they listen to it loud, you can hear the distortion from the speakers. Getting an amplifier a lot of times will correct that because you're pushing much more power to the speakers. Um, and it's almost like the more power, the better, the clarity. So, yeah, the difference of listening to music without the amplifiers and then with the amplifiers were almost like night and day. I mean, you could crank the volume up to what they would call reference, listening, which you really don't want to go too high because obviously for any even short periods of time, you can damage your ears. But I mean, definitely the clarity of the music is much improved with the amplifiers. So if you ever get a system like this and you're ever thinking about getting amplifiers, it's if you can get past the cost, it's beneficial to have them in everything as far as music, TV shows, or movies. You will see a difference in clarity, and definitely less distortion when playing things at higher volumes. So, anyways, yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. You can reach out to me on Facebook, on Twitter, and Instagram. We are going to be doing installs like this in homes and obviously bigger homes and whatnot. And we're, I believe, going to be starting that this spring or summer. So anybody that's interested, get a hold of me now and we can go over the particulars of, like, go over to your house and figure out what type of system you want and go over cost and whatnot. And yeah, we can get you all hooked up. So if you need to reach out to me for that, message me on Facebook. Like I said, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or you can go through the website, amoreitsolutions.com. Yeah, other than that, I'm going to cut the video now. And thanks for watching this. And again, if you have any questions, reach out to me. Thanks.